This is a 1,000 crane piece sculpture that our community created last summer. It is, the idea that I had was that it would be a great way for people to become aware that peace requires a powerful story. And if you have a story, and we all do, about who we are, I'm Zette Harbour, I'm a storyteller, I'm a peacemaker, I'm whatever else. Every day that I wake up, I don't have to think to myself, now, how am I going to do that storytelling thing? It's just who I am. And so by folding these cranes and engaging in this process, I try to just get people to realize that if they put that one sentence into the story of who they are, I'm Linda Seeley, I'm a peacemaker, then every day you wake up and that's just who you will be. You don't have to work at it. I wonder too if anyone, you probably know of her, I'm sure, Scylla Elworthy. I always get her flipped. Oh, she's fabulous. She's on TED, and we should send that link too. She has a wonderful TED Talk about how to deal with a bully without becoming a thug. It is the best advice I've ever gotten. And she inspires this story for me. This story is actually a Buddhist tale. And there was a young Buddhist monk, a woman, and she was studying the meditation of loving kindness. And anyone here practicing Buddhism? So when I botch this part, you've just, okay. But as I understand it, so she would go in her cell and every day would spend her time filling her heart with loving kindness for all beings. And she grew in her practice day by day, and she was sure that she was, blossoming into an effective meditator. But there was this one problem. She would go down to the marketplace, and there was this one merchant. Oh, he was just rude. He would pinch her, and he'd grab her, and he'd pull her over, and he'd even try to kiss her once. And she would just get so furious with him. She had no loving kindness for him whatsoever. But then she'd return to her cell and think, okay, I have to have loving kindness. And she would practice really hard. But it just finally came to the day where she couldn't take it anymore. And he pinched her just one too many times. She raised up her umbrella and she was about to smack him over the head when her eye caught the eye of her teacher across the street. She was mortified. She walked over and she stood there just waiting for the rebuke she knew was going to come. And he looked at her. Here is what you must do. Next time you meet that fellow, fill your heart with feelings of loving kindness toward him. Then raise your umbrella and hit him over the head. And so when I thought to myself, what can I say here tonight? That's what I want each of you to take with you. The way to truly succeed, the way to truly overcome will never be through anger and hatred. But we must fill our hearts with loving kindness and raise that umbrella, hit them over the head so hard that they never think of building another one of these ever again, right? Thank you. And she could just feel the waves calling to her, so she walked slowly into the water, and she put her one foot in the water, and she knew she had found where she belonged. So she walked slowly, deeply into that water, and when finally her head dissolved, she said, now I know who I am. And for me, the big reason that story is appropriate is I started studying Transcendental Meditation last July, and my teacher says, it's like being a wave. So each one of us is a wave, and we're riding along in the ocean. And you look over there and you see another wave, and you think, wow, that's a cool wave, or wow, I don't like that wave. But it's a different wave from you. But you say to yourself, and we're both ocean. And so when I hear, how can we help the Japanese people who've suffered, or the others who are there? We can't. But we must know that they are ocean just like we are. And you work inside here, and you will heal everywhere around you. So whatever else you do outside of that, always be sure you're in here. And so, For the last and final thing, I'd like you all to stand up. Because I have a Nasruddin story, and anyone here know who Nasruddin is? Ah, excellent. So Nasruddin is a Hoja. He is a wise Sufi who's a complete idiot. No, he's a wise Hoja who's a complete idiot, really. So it came upon him that there were a group of followers who wanted him to be their spiritual leader, and they wanted him to teach them enlightenment. And so they would meet him once a week at the marketplace, and he had to teach them something. So he finally came upon this idea that he would do some actions and they would repeat them. And so everyone's going to do that. So it's going to be like, there you go, have a seat. And so Nasruddin was carrying on like this week after week, and a friend of his had just come back to town, and he saw this crazy spectacle, and he said, "What is going on?" "Well, these are my followers. I must teach them enlightenment. I'm their spiritual guide." And he says, "Well, how do you know they've been enlightened?" "Well, I count them, and the ones that don't come back, I know they're enlightened." And so you've been enlightened, and now you can go. Thank you very much.